What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be giving you another pre-season update. It's week 2 of pre-season and everything has been kicking off beautifully down at Alberton. A lot of positive news has come out of the club over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, since the draft, there's been a lot of mix and match in terms of on-field and off-field positivity. There's been a lot of good signs and a lot of freshness about the club at the moment, which has been very, very nice to get around. So today we're going to talk a bit more about what's happened in the past week in particular, and some news that you might not have heard, and some updates as well that you should be looking out for, and you know, just keeping you up to date with everything that's been happening you might have missed, whether it's through articles or something that just happened over the weekend and you may have missed that as well. So we're going to get straight into it, and let's talk a bit Port Adelaide. And it's hopefully, we can see what's going on down at Alberton this pre-season. First and foremost, the most important news to come out from the weekend is that we have a new board member. Members-elect George Fiacchi has gotten the job done in the members' vote across the weekend. Obviously, we've all seen the voting process, and the AGM was on Friday, and unfortunately, George couldn't be there, so we couldn't get a direct statement from him as such, but he's very happy to be on board. He would post it on Instagram as well, so that was very, very nice to see. But he bet out. He managed to beat in the vote Rob Snowden, who's been on the board for quite a long time, and as well Christopher Fittridge, who was also in the running. Now, with George, a bit of an opinion about this in terms of our members-elect votes. Obviously, we had Warren Tredrea come in last year, who wants to make a difference with the fans, and I think we've seen that to some regard across all forms of part of the football club, both on and off the field. George wants to also bring in a fans feeling. He feels like the members are it's a fractured relationship at the moment, and look, by all means, you can definitely say that with the way the club has been in terms of handling of certain situations and the positive spin on many of things, and the non-ability to be cutthroat in certain situations, which has been difficult to swallow. And obviously we've been in situations like we were when we lost to Brisbane earlier in the year, booing Ken Hinkley and all of that front. And all three elects had the opportunity to present themselves to members, and clearly George won quite convincingly in the end. He's obviously, if you didn't know who George Fiacchi was, he's a Magpies legend, a premiership player. He was also on the board between 2012 and 2019, so he was there for a good 8-year period where he was able to give his ability, and we saw throughout that time he was able to help get the club through the toughest and most difficult of times, but then he was also able to bring us into a successful period of finals between 2013 and 14, and obviously 2017, which I wasn't really that successful, but we won't talk about that one, will we? And then, obviously he left and got beaten by Gavin Wanganeen in 2020, going forth that. So, in terms of my opinion on the board, there should always be members voted into the board positions. We have only 2 probable causes to have a members vote. The rest are AFL selected, which is quite shit. Like, that is, we're a Port Adelaide Football Club. We're part of the community. I know this is an AFL grounds, but I know crosstown rivals, the Crows, have been pushing for more of a say for members and having a better percentage on the board than what we have. And I think for us as well, that should be a point of difference. And we know that in every essence, clubs around the football department all have member-elected votes, and it's just a shame. And I think George is going to do a good job. I like his experience. He's been through football departments. He knows how to utilise his assets, and he definitely has had multiple experiences both with Sydney and with Port Adelaide when we came into the AFL as well. So he's got his opportunity now to impress everyone, and I think overall he's a good selection. Not a lot of people put their hand up. It's a tough ask to be on the board, and tough position. And with George Fiacchi and Warren Tredrea both on the voice for the members, I feel like a good opportunity is now here to have our say and really get represented well on the board. So we're all looking forward to seeing what he can produce at the club next year. It's a promising sign, one to keep your eye out for, and definitely not as big of a build up with this vote than it was with Treaders and Bruce Abernathy. So Definitely everyone's quite happy with the George Fiacchi selection. Just another piece of off-field news. If you did not see the announcement last week already, Port Adelaide announced a profit for 2024 of $3.157 million. This is after the expenditures of club growth. We're talking deductions, we're talking Alberton Oval redevelopments as well, and everything of the sort. So to produce in that capital is really, really impressive, and we're continuously building our way out of the debt. Gross revenue as well is up 7%. Core business revenue is up 8%, and $2 million in debt repayments compared to last year, which is $2.5 million. So it's continuously building our way forward, and it's a massive growth in terms of assets. We have $82.4 million compared to $61.8 million. Yeah, everything's looking pretty strong on that balance sheet. So I'm not the biggest financial head when it comes to club reformations and everything like that, but to continuously invest in Alberton Oval, invest in AFLW, and getting all of this strong feedback and strong positivity with growth and profits. Very, very strong off the field. It now has to be invested in the football department so we can get a premiership and get more money. All right, going to the track, let's talk about footy. This is where we get into our good stuff. And now, the most important news that you need to know is that Rory Atkins won the 2 kilometre time trial. He beat Georgiadis ahead of him. So, very impressive. The guy from the Gold Coast Suns that we all tipped to be absolutely shit, really. And I don't want to say that because he is a great bloke, and Rory Atkins has a lot of experience. And whilst we may not like the trade, he's here now. He's going to represent Port Adelaide, and we should get fully around him. I'm very happy to see that someone from the outside has managed to come in and beat a few people, especially ones that have ran the 2 kilometre time trial. We look at the likes of Boak. You look at the likes of players that are fit, like who won it last year? I cannot remember for the life of me who won it last year, but there's been a couple throughout the time that have been really, really impressive. So Rory Atkins wins the 2 kilometre time trial. We also saw Jason Horne-Francis, Josh Sin and Lockie Jones go across to the US. And also Ryan Burton went across to the US with Travis Boak. So keep an eye on that going forward. Because anyone that goes to a pre-season with Trav Boak normally ends up playing the season of their career. And Jason Horne-Francis definitely had a good year as well. So him to go over to the US again and start training is very, very impressive. And same with Lockie Jones, who needs to have another breakout season, and he's been giving us glimpses. And Josh Sin as well. Now, he's been tipped to replace Dan Houston from what we've seen at training, and in the early stages of this pre-season over the last couple of weeks, we've seen that Josh Sin has been taking that role. He's definitely not fulfilling it like a Dan Houston. He's having his own spin on it, the Sin spin. And he's utilising that left foot and really being prolific, and that may free up a Kane Farrell as well, and being able to utilise his weapons as well up the ground and be more attacking. Josh Sin, the one thing that I think will definitely push him in his favour is if he intercept marks. Josh Sin, we know him for his running ability along the wing, and it can be very, very promising with his left foot. Dan Houston used to take a lot of intercept marks. Now, if he can average 3 or 4 a game and help out the likes of Lira Salva Radigalia, who we know is going down back, then it definitely helps out quite a bit, and we don't want everyone getting in each other's way. So good communication between the back line will help, and Josh Sin's improvement will definitely be able to counteract that as well. Another one that is impressing is the first-year draftee, Christian Moraes. He's been very, very impressive. And we all talk about the hype of youngsters coming in and everyone being quite promising, and lighting up the track seems to be the great headline that is utilised this year. But from what I've heard from Port Adelaide people, he is definitely one to watch. So keep an eye out on that and how he progresses. There are not a lot of weeks left, obviously, for the rest of the year. So pre-season will have another week, and I'm pretty sure they're going on a camp, if I'm right. Not a Crows camp, one that they normally do up at Noosa, normally for the last week of pre-season. Not sure if it's going to be at Noosa this year, though. I'm sure the club will announce that very shortly. So very intriguing to see how it is all progressing down in Alberton, but it's been very promising and very, very, very impressive. So I'm keen to see how this one pans out going into the new year. A few open trainings as well, one on the 16th of December next Monday, and a couple in the new year as well. So keen to get down and have a look and see how the boys are tracking. Just before I finish up this bit of an update for you all, the AFLW awards are tonight for the Port Adelaide Football Club, So who is going to win? I'm tipping Abby Darrick or Matilda Scholes. A bit of a draw would be very, very cute for them, the power couple of the power. So yeah, very, very intriguing to see how this all pans out tonight. It's going to be very, very fascinating. Shania Goody is going to be very, very close as well, and Gemma Houghton had her moments, even Amelia Borg as well. So there's a few opportunities for people to stand up, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that all pans out. But overall, that's been a big update. There's a lot of things happening at Port Adelaide. Always something happening. I'm very, very keen to see how it all goes next year. Thank you very much for watching this update, Port Adelaide fans. Very, very keen to see you all throughout the new year. This is me kind of winding down through the December period. There will be a little bit of a montage of ThePear in 2024. And I'll give you one more pre-season update to come before we finish up for Christmas and everything coming up in the next couple of weeks. So very exciting times to be winding down. And it's normally that time of the year, the sluggish period and of everything of the sort. So keen as beans to get around it and enjoy. Make sure you gather around tickets. They're on sale on Tuesday for members, Wednesday for the general public. Make sure you get there, see Port Adelaide take on Hawthorn, and throughout the weekend, the Festival of Footy. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Anthony, and subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. Just realised I stuffed up the outro. That's how well I'm going this off-season. My name's Anthony, and as always, come the pair.